Were you just talking about having fun and the importance of having fun?
Yeah. So, for those of you who may not have seen, we had a funny post yesterday about coming here to shine your light like a unicorn. And Tony has bought his unicorn meat. So, thank you, Tony. I'm going to pop you on mute. It was actually pretty funny. Pull it out as I'm talking, Tony, because Tony showed us in a business builder session yesterday. Show us the head and the leg, Tony. There's the unicorn head. Now, give us a look at the leg. Show us the leg. That's the unicorn leg. I don't know how you feel about that. All right, team. Speaking of unicorns, I'm looking rather shiny like a unicorn because it's 6 a.m. here and I've just recently had a shower and I moisturize my entire body. Welcome to getting older. So I'm kind of shiny, so like a unicorn, right? So last night, a funny thing happened, which was that we had no power. Due to the electric company's error. But it was really, really great because my son and I went out for dinner. My son is 15 and we went out for dinner. And because we didn't know when we were going to get the power back, when we got to the restaurant, we put our phones on charge at the restaurant just in case we didn't get the power back, right? So it meant that we got to talk to each other. Dun, dun, dun. And hey, Lexi. And I was sharing with my son my mission around really being committed to growing it. Before I die, I want to grow a community of 1 million people where they feel they belong. Because when you belong, you feel safe. And when you feel safe, you are able to go out into the world and do what you were born to do. You're put here with a gift. And sometimes you're not living to the fullest of your capacity or your potential because you don't have a space where you're able to flourish. And it was really quite interesting. My son shared some really profound thoughts. He was like, well, have you thought about the challenges that are going to come with having a community of 1 million people? Oh, this kid's wise. And it was really beautiful to have that conversation because the reason we're here today is for you to be able to dissolve whatever those challenges are that are getting in your way of sharing your message and your mission on a bigger scale. So I share that with you because I really want you to land into this space. Get yourself free of distractions. Because if you've just turned up here today to be a consumer of learning, then you're missing the point. Because you're actually here to connect with yourself, but also this community. Because this is a safe space. And think about this. There are almost 8 billion people in the world. And somehow all 17 of us at the moment, there's some people jumping on, all 17 of us at the moment have landed here together. Like that's pretty freaking incredible, guys. It's not by accident. So whatever's going on today, the community, the people that have landed here, you are all connected now for a reason. So I encourage you to really land in this space and get present to what is going on today, what is being shared, whether you get to be in the hot seat or not, because the principle that Einstein was coined for saying spooky action at a distance, what we now know to be quantum entanglement, there is synchronous moments that are going to come up in this session today, and there are messages for you, even if you're not in the hot seat. So please turn off phones, turn off notifications, because what you get out of today is going to be entirely what you put in. Now, the reason that we work on our mindset is because being in business is about being in relationship with yourself, whether you like it or not. And when you are in a relationship, in this context with yourself, it requires you to look at parts of yourself that you find uncomfortable. But I know that you're all able to do that because you didn't become an entrepreneur unless you could do that, because it's freaking hard work. It's challenging, right? But what it means is that being in business requires a level of self-awareness and vulnerability that exposes you to yourself. So your business is a playground for your subconscious patterns that are playing out. And you don't know what those subconscious patterns are until we bring them to the level of your awareness. That's why you're here. Because once you know what they are, now you can start to work on them so that you expand to your next level of magnificence, where a whole new set of challenges come up, by the way. You're never getting rid of the challenges. You're just able to be aware, dissolve, and move to the next level of awareness, where you step into your next level of greatness. So in the context of your business and what we're working on today, I want you to keep this in mind, the law of reflection. What is going on within you is always showing up around you. Today in this community, whatever's going to come up today is going on within you. When you go out into Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn to connect with potential clients, whatever is going on around you is a reflection of what is going on within you. So keep that in mind, because there's messages. The universe is giving you messages constantly. It's your job to learn how to listen. So today we are going to go for about an hour. I hope you can stick around for the whole time, because you never know when that little gem is going to come. Could be right at the end for you. And one person gets to be in the hot seat. And the community, that being you, is going to pick who gets to be in the hot seat. That's the beautiful synchronous quantum entanglement that's going to occur today. And it's the ripple effect of you doing that work in the hot seat that gets everybody else gives everybody else the opportunity to experience their own breakthrough. So with that in mind, please put up your Zoom hand if you have something you would love to work on today. And we're going to, whether there's 2 people or 5, everyone's going to get an opportunity to share what it is. And then you as the community is going to pick. So please listen as people are sharing what they want to work on, because you get the opportunity to choose what that is. So Zoom hands, do you know how to put your Zoom hand up? No? Down the bottom of the screen, there should be reactions, and you should get to put your hand up. Give you a minute or so if you want to put your hand up. You can see Ariella's put hers up. Who else wants, who has something they would love to work on today? Okay, we've got 2. Ella, you clearly can't work it out. It's okay. I know that you.
Nothing, but I'll put my physical hand up.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So there's 4 of you, and who's got some weird face? Tony. Okay. All right. So please listen carefully. Here are the instructions for what you need to do. You have 60 seconds and 60 seconds only, so that we respect everyone's time. When it's your go to share what the challenge is and what you would love to work on. For the rest of you, please listen, because you're going to be asked to put the name of the person in the chat. So Ariella, go for it. It's please pronounce the name for me. Aurelia. Araleia, okay.
You're almost there, Shadi.
Araleia, okay. Araleia, what would you love to work on today?
So I am working a lot on my healing of aversiveness, and I just need like a kick in the ass, because I am so overwhelmed with all the possibilities, and I have no clue where to start anymore and how to get into the business again.
Okay, into the, so pardon me, but I missed at the start what you said. You said something about healing. What was that?
Yeah, I'm a Ho'oponopono practitioner. Ho'oponopono
Right.
is a Hawaiian like
Yep.
living modality.
Yep.
And with that, I am working on my like I'm good enough, I'm worthy, those kind of fundamentals. I
Mhm.
have found that is like something that was not linking in me. But now like I am there in like understanding where my worthiness is, but I have no clue how to take it out to the world.
So you know that you're worthy, but now you're not sure how to take it out to the world.
Mhm. Yeah, so
Okay.
I need to kick in the ass.
All right. Thank you for sharing. I'll get you to pop yourself on mute. Maria, my love, 60 seconds. What would you love to work on today? You need to unmute yourself, beautiful. Maria. Okay. Maria, unmute yourself, darling. All right, I'm going to move over to Ash. Maybe Maria's having some tech difficulties and then we'll come back to Maria. Ash, my love, go for it.
My thing is a pattern of making money and then it stops. And like, it's like, okay, well, great. And then it's like, so yeah,
So
so
you-
I would want to look at that.
So you would love to work on, what's the end game for you? Like, what would you love for it to look like?
The consistency, just consistent
Okay.
money coming in.
Perfect. No more feast or famines.
Thank you.
Okay. I think that's something everyone can relate to. Thank you. Maria, have you sorted out your tech issues? Yes.
So achievements is a double-edged sword, I think, for me.
Mhm.
When I'm trying to achieve my business, it doesn't come from the heart many times, and I find it so easy in business and some other areas too to kind of work it instead of coming from that space, whatever you want to call it, from the heart space. And I think the business is kind of just anchored into that for me, achievement. And I want to get much clearer about that.
So clear on how to come from the heart in business.
Yes, because I think if I sit on the mountaintop, it's not hard to sit with my heart, but business is so always achieving, accomplishing things, money, clients, whatever profile audiences. So it automatically tunes me into that achievement and accomplishment, and it gets me out of the heart if you take it metaphorically.
Yeah, got you. So it takes you away from the joy and the enjoyment of serving because you're so focused on having to achieve and get the end result, right?
It could still be joyful, but it's not coming from the place where I want it to come from.
Okay, so if you're in the hot seat, we'll explore that. For those of you who've jumped on a little bit late, welcome. Thank you for being here. We're just going through the individuals that have put their hand up to be in the hot seat today. So if you've just jumped in, just listen in because you'll get to choose who that is. And last but not least, lovely Ella, please unmute yourself and share with us, what is it you would love to work on today?
Okay, so I feel like I'm at the start of my journey because I haven't posted that much on social media. So I have this fear of being seen and what other people will think of me, specifically work colleagues. So I want to be able to start taking brave action and posting. And I feel like it's similar to Aurelia's question as well. But it just keeps coming up. It's like, I feel like I'm on the edge of a cliff and I can write the content and I can learn the modules, but the physical posting of it and what's going to happen after this post just like brings up a lot of fear for me. And it's funny because I coach in anxiety as well and overthinking. So it's just another level of what I would be teaching.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, wonderful. Thank you for sharing. So Ella brings up a great point, which is relevant for all of you, which is you are your niche. And imposter syndrome happens when you think you're supposed to have your shit sorted out. Because the truth is you're never sorting your shit out. All you're doing, and for those of you that work one-on-one with me or in the community already, you will know this, you will have heard this, but it doesn't matter, hear it again. The people that are coming to you to serve, for you to serve them are all of the individuals that are concentric sphere levels of awareness, not behind, but on the journey behind, for want of a better term. And they're looking to you because you've solved all of the challenges at these different levels of awareness. If you try to think that you're going to go and serve people beyond your level of awareness, you'll struggle. But you are an expert at your current level of awareness. And you're looking to serve all of the individuals who are on the journey that you've already taken. So the beautiful paradox is that the very problem you help people with, you are also always going to have that problem, and you need it in order to be the expert. Because if you weren't on the journey solving the challenges, who the heck would you be to be able to serve people to solve the challenges? So if I'm looking to engage a coach and they say to me that they're not working on the area that they currently are looking to help me with, I don't work with them. I only want to work with individuals who are on their own journey of solving that problem because they're the experts to help me. So too for your clients. Okay, so we've got 4 people. Just as a recap, if you are already certain on who you would love to have in the hot seat today, please put their name in the chat now. Now, guys, this is not a popularity contest. We're picking people based on the challenge. So don't feel bad if that's not you today. For the 4 of you that put your hand up, excuse me, it's based on the challenge that people shared. All right, so we've got, oh my God, Ara, say it again for me, Ara. Say it again.
Aralaya. It's just as is it written.
It's the Aussie accent. Aralaya is working on healing. She's got a healing modality and she's overwhelmed with all the possibilities of how to really market herself and get herself out there and take herself out into the world. Ash has a pattern of making money and then it stops, and he'd really love to get clear on how to be consistent so there's no more feast or famines. Maria feels that having achievements is a double-edged sword. She wants to come from the heart, but she wants to also get clearer on how she does that consistently inside of her business. And Ella is at the start of her journey and has a fear around being seen and worried about what others are going to think of her. All right, Ella. Okay, who can somebody please, it looks like it's between Ash and Ella. Christopher, would you do me the honor of counting the Ashes and I'll count the Ellas? Okay, Dawn's done. Dawn, thank you. Okay. All right, team, thank you so much. Your choice today is the challenge that Ash is currently facing. Ariella, Maria, and Ella, thank you so much for being brave and sharing openly. Today it is Ash. Ash, please unmute yourself, my love. It is time to get down and dirty and do some work. Ash, are you with us? Okay, okay. So Ash is actually away on holiday, so the internet, okay. All right, you're back with us now, so unmute, sweetheart.
Yeah, I think you're going to find it's not stable.
I think we're going to find that whatever we say is going to happen is going to happen. So I think we're going to find that it's going to be stable.
Okay.
The perfection of whatever's going to happen is going to happen.
Okay. Let's jump off.
All right, my love. So, Christopher. So, subconscious resistance. That your technology and the internet is just energy, and it's just reflecting back what's going on, right? Just like my electricity last night turned itself off. By the way, just for reference, Tony Skinner, I was on a call with Tony yesterday afternoon about setting up my podcast. Tony, as soon as we got off that call, that's when the electricity went out. Talk about having a fear of being seen.
Mhm.
There you go.
All right, Ash, thank you so much for being brave today. So, what is the trait, action, or inaction about yourself that you currently most dislike?
Can you phrase that in a different way?
What is it that you currently don't like about your life and yourself?
Sometimes there's a perception that I'm weak.
That you're-
There's like, why can't I get this together? It's kind of like, so in the like wanting to live this creative life and living life the way that I want to do it, and there's like this sense sometimes it's like, oh, I get so far, but then it feels like there's a collapse.
Mhm. All right. How do you wish your business looked?
I wish there was a flow of clients, and that the people that I was working with, like I'm really, like the people that I work with now, I'm very passionate about, but that I had like a community of people that are really passionate about running workshops. Yeah, that there's a sense of community when people come together for the workshops. Would love to be running face-to-face workshops. What does my business look like? It has a flow and an ease, and I feel like I'm expanded and in my flow and creativity with the business.
Okay, perfect. So there's a few different things going on there around how you wished it looked. So let's take a look at that so for all of you, as we're working together, it's wise for you to be answering your version of the questions that I'm asking Ash. Okay, so what do I wish my business looked like? List it. Because these are the fantasies that you have right now. And with every fantasy, there is its opposing nightmare. Your fantasies drive your nightmares. Your nightmares drive your fantasies. So Ash is sharing that he has this fantasy that he thinks life would be better if he had a flow of clients, a community of people that are passionate about workshops, that he was serving face-to-face workshops, that there was flow and ease within him, and that he felt expanded. He thinks, and you think, life would be better, business would be better if it looked A, B, C, D, E. And if you don't dissolve your fantasies, they turn into your nightmares and they run you. And they show up in your life. And then you say, I didn't want this. This isn't how I wanted my life to look. So, Ash, and I have the benefit of knowing, because you and I are working one-on-one, I already know what your highest values are. So that really helps. And you've got a sense of what your values are, right? Around your mission and living and walking this earth from heart.
Mm-hmm.
So what would be the drawback to you if you had a flow of clients right now?
Mm-hmm. The thing that comes to mind immediately is less freedom, as in,
Ah,
you know, wouldn't have as much time to just float around and go for walks in nature, swims, play music, write a song when the inspiration's there. It's like, oh no, a commitment. Okay.
so number 5 that you just shared on your list of how you wanted your life to be was, you said, I want to be in my flow and creativity in my business. But can you see that you've already set up your life in such a way to be in your creativity and flow outside of your business?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So team, law of conservation of energy, nothing's missing. But we get so attached to the form that we expect it to be in that we miss the magnificence of what's actually going on. So Ash is saying, I wish that I was in flow and creativity in my business. I don't have it. It's missing, but it's not missing. It's somewhere else right now in your life. Now, you get to co-create and put that in your business. It's not one or the other, by the way. But right now, you've put it over there because you've told yourself a story that you can't have both. So you think you're choosing one over the other, but the truth is you are infinite. You can create whatever you want to create and you can have everything. Creativity and a flow of clients. So let me ask you this. If you had a flow of clients, how would it benefit you? How would it actually create more flow and creativity within you?
It would enable me to, well, one thing is I would have, well, my bandwidth would be freer for creativity rather than going, oh, how do I get this money? How do I get these clients? How do I work this out?
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, and which would enable my creativity flow to come through more effortlessly. I would have an amazing van and be able to, when I'm on the road, be able to have better health, take care of myself more easily rather than, staying at lots of different people's houses. And so, yes, so that, and of course, just parking the van out in nature is wonderful for my creativity and flow.
Mm-hmm. What about, imagine having 10 consistent clients a week.
Mm-hmm.
In those sessions with those clients, how does that benefit you to help you connect with your creativity?
I learn from them. I get inspired from them.
Mm-hmm.
I am more connected to the gifts that I have to give when I'm working with them.
Say that again, Ash.
I'm more connected with the gifts that I have to give when I'm working with them.
Say that again.
I'm more connected with the gifts that I have to give when I'm working with them.
Now come into your heart space and please say that again.
I'm more connected with the gifts that I have to give when I work with them.
So can you see that actually having a flow of clients helps you to really cultivate your creativity because you're in connection with the people that want your gift?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because right now you've been labeling subconsciously and also to a degree consciously, you've been thinking that if you have more clients, it takes you away from your gifts, your creativity, your connection to yourself. Can you see that?
Yep.
But actually, for all of you, think about this. When you're in session with a client, your heart opens, your mind opens, you get sparky ideas about the next thing to be able to share and serve. Do you have that experience, Ash, when you're in service?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And can you get those same heart open, creativity, sparky ideas on your own that you get with or versus being in connection and in service? The same?
I would say I could, but possibly the flow wouldn't be, you know, it would be a slower evolution of those insights.
Exactly. It would be a slower evolution of the insights, because team, clarity comes in the doing. Like Maria said, you listen, yes, meditation is important. You want to sit in nature on a mountain, whatever that looks like for you. You want to chant to your navel, you want to go to a yoga class, whatever that is, amazing. But that is half the equation. Serving humanity gives you a quicker degree of clarity about the next level of awareness, because you are synchronously in connection with humanity. You don't get that by being alone. You get something different by being alone, which is still highly unique and valuable, but it's not the same, is it, Ash?
No.
No. So we started this conversation because you thought that by having, you thought that it would be better to have a flow of clients, but you realized that you've been kind of repelling them, right? Because you thought it was going to take away from your own creativity.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything missing for you now around attracting a flow of clients and still believe, like, can you see that you can still be in connection and creativity with yourself, or are you still kind of fearful?
No, I can see that.
So you're ready to have 10 clients and let them flow on in now?
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, luckily we're working one-on-one together, so we're on the journey of making that happen from a strategic perspective. But yes, from an energetics perspective, you're ready to do it. Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm just having a look at the list of what you said to me about what you wish life looked like. All right. You said that you wish you had a community of people that are passionate and love to do workshops. Can you just expand on what you mean by that, my love?
The vision, yeah, I guess the key part is the vision is the community. Like people excited to see each other, people working with each other, people inspired by each other. And I know that brings me joy when I see that. Like as a musician, like that's what I always did when I worked with bands. It was like, okay, community build, and that I got a lot of joy out of seeing people come together and be happy, and the band members shine, like give their gifts and really shine.
So from a perspective of you having the community, is it you are building the community? Who's building the community? If you have a community, who's building it?
Yep. Yeah. And I can see some resistance come up here, because in the past it was always me, right? So I was always the community, like I was the one doing most of the work to build the community. And I see the resistance because I burnt out. And I can see that there's a little bit of resistance, fear that comes up that I'm going to burn out again.
Yeah. So you'd love to have a community, but you haven't created one again because last time you did, you burnt out. And now you're scared that's going to happen again.
Yeah, there's definitely that fear there.
Why are you worried about burning out? What are you scared about?
That the impact could be like failed relationships, poor health, inability to concentrate, build focus.
So Ash is bringing something to light for all of us, which I am sure you can relate to, which is the way your life and your business looks right now is not by accident. You have co-created exactly what it looks like. And it's not good or bad, right or wrong, better or worse. All it means is that if you don't have something right now that you say you want, and you're not currently on the journey of creating it, So if you think that you want something, but you don't have it, you have prioritized something else that you perceive to be more important than the thing that you say you think you want. For example, what we're hearing with Ash is he knows that he values community, but actually in his perception, he thinks that again, it's one or the other. I either have my beautiful marriage or I have community, but if I have community, it's going to take me away from my relationship, and it's that my relationship's going to fail. It's kind of like what my son was saying to me last night at dinner. For those of you who jumped on a little bit late, you may not have heard the story, but when I was sharing with my son that I'm inspired before I die to build a community of 1 million people where everyone feels they belong, because when you're safe and secure, you go out and share your gifts. And he said, have you thought about the challenges? Because one of those challenges, Mum, is you're going to have 1 million people who want to know your business, and they're going to want your time and your energy, and you're going to change as a person. He's 15, by the way. Now, it's not that I can't have a community of 1 million people, and it's not that Ash can't have a community, whatever that looks like. It just means you have to keep working on the challenges that come up in your mind and in your strategy in order to have both. So Ash, why do you think you can't have community and a connected, intimate relationship?
I do think that I can. But there was fear there based on things that happened in the past with a different relationship.
Okay, perfect. So I want you to go to a moment in your previous relationship where you perceived that you had failed because you chose community over the relationship. Where are you?
I've just got back from a tour.
Oh, the resistance is strong.
My then wife saying, yeah, and she's like super fiery. I can't do this anymore. You're never here, and I need you here.
So in that conversation, was there a moment where you perceived you had failed her because you chose community over her?
Yes.
Okay. So when in that moment is it? I want you to get really present. You might need to close your eyes down. So you're in conversation with her and she's sharing a whole bunch of stuff with you. But when was the moment of your perception that you failed her?
I remember that I'm actually in bed because I'm exhausted. And yeah, she's standing there. And yeah, there's just that sense that comes up, not good enough, doesn't matter what I do.
Okay. What was the benefit to her in that moment that you had failed her in the relationship? What was the benefit to her?
Well, one of the ones, she could do things her way.
And was that important to her, that she felt she could do things her way?
It was brutal. So brutally important to her, yes.
Okay. And so did she perceive that by being in the relationship, you were actually holding her back from doing the things that she wanted to do the way she wanted to do them?
Yes.
So did you give her a gift in failing the relationship because she didn't really want to be in the relationship?
Oh, absolutely.
Can you see that you gave her that gift?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're the co-creators, so she wasn't a victim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In that moment, back in that moment where you're laying in bed and you're listening to her complain about how she wants to do things her way and you're perceiving you failed her, what was the benefit to you in that moment, just in that moment?
That over time I became very solid in no, like, no, this is, I'm doing this, and I can't do things all the time to please other people. I know what's right for me, and I'm doing this.
Okay, so what was the benefit to you? Say that again.
Benefit to me was that I got very solid in myself, and very solid in standing up for myself, and doing things my way.
Oh, so you wanted the same thing that she wanted. You wanted to do things your way.
Yeah, that's why I'm smiling. Yeah.
What's the benefit to you, Ash, when you get to be really solid in who you are and do things your way?
Things get done. Like if I'm doing things my way, there's there can be a real focus and application to task.
How does that benefit you in your business?
It means that, well, the business can keep moving forward, clients can flow in, and that it has my own unique perspective, or my own unique taste to it.
And how does that benefit you in your mission, which you know with certainty, which is to live and walk this earth from your heart and share that gift with others?
Yeah, I just, I don't know. It makes it happen.
You don't know? Have a look. You know the
I
answer.
do know. Yeah, the answer that I had was, it makes it happen.
At what, pardon?
Makes it happen.
Why is that a benefit to you to be able to make your mission happen?
Because I feel purposeful. Like, I feel joyful, and I feel that, I'm only on this planet for a limited time, and I want to live to the fullest that I can, and show up in the fullest way, and know that when I do get to this point of death, that I'm dying going, yeah, I really showed up. I really did the best that I could.
Now, you bring up a really important point, and I know you won't mind me asking you to share this because I know you've shared it on YouTube. For the benefit of the community, can you please share with us what happened last time you didn't listen to your heart and live by purpose?
Yeah, so I stayed in that relationship, and even though, my body and everything, I was miserable and it was screaming at me to get out, I stayed in, and eventually I ended up with a back injury. And in 2016, I went in for a back operation, and they tore a vein during the operation, and they didn't know they tore the vein. And the next day I'd been bleeding out internally for 16 hours, and I died. I experienced dying and leaving my body. And as I was leaving my body, I still had conscious awareness, and I was saying, I want to stay. And I had that real sense that there was more for me to do, and that I hadn't done it. And for me, it was like ripples in a pond. I just kept going out and out and out. And I started saying, I want to stay for my partner. I want to stay for the kids. And then I had this warmth come over me, and I said that I want to stay for the work that I do and walk the planet from my heart. And the moment that I had that conscious thought, straight back into my body, opened my eyes, they got a pulse. So since then, that's been the contract. It's like, I wasn't living fully from my heart, and this contract now that I have is I have to honor that, because I've been given a second life to do that, and it's been stunning, like a stunning 5 years to explore living from the heart and giving the gift of myself to myself. That's just been mind-blowing.
So Ash, what happens when you don't stay solid in who you are and live by purpose?
Mm. Well, the thing that comes to mind first is like I feel like I'm failing, funny enough.
So guys, you are never getting rid of an experience. And the more you try to run from something, you run into it. If you keep trying to run from failure, Ash, you're going to keep running into failure.
Mhm.
Whether it's in your relationship, your health, or your business. So what's been the benefit to you of failing in your relationship?
Oh, freedom.
Oh,
Freedom, joy, and now have the most beautiful, loving relationship that I didn't even know was possible.
so are you scared to fail again?
There is a slight bit of fear there that I can, I can see the benefits and see the illusion that failure has been creating. That the perspective is failure is bad, failure, there is something wrong with me, rather than there's been almost like an intellectual knowing failure creates evolution, but right now I'm like actually feeling that embodiment.
Okay, so I want to be clear, because we can conceptualize and think something, but unless you feel it and it's in your being, it doesn't change the cells in your body and it doesn't change your energetic vibration to attract clients. So Ash, are you still conceptualizing, or can you see what is the benefit every time you have failed? What has it given you?
Yeah, a deeper sense of self, more freedom.
So did you ever really fail?
No.
And what are you scared of now failing in? Is it your relationship? Is your business? What is it?
It's being seen as a failure.
Oh. Who's going to see, who are you worried about seeing you as a failure?
I guess my peers.
Other musicians?
Yeah, other musicians. And just thinking about it now, people that kind of put me on a pedestal, like I don't have myself that I'm aware of on the pedestal, but people, I sometimes perceive people have this perception that I'm just like this shining light, but for me, I'm like, well, I have all these faults or these, we're going deeper now, inadequacies and things like that, and that they'll be disappointed.
Okay, so team, thank you, Ash, for being so vulnerable. This is something every single person can relate to. If you are putting on a public persona, you are covering up the opposite in private in shame. And by the way, every single person here is doing it. You want the world to see you in a certain way, and however you're trying to project that persona is because you are running away from the opposite within you. Your fears will chain you. And then they actually hold you back from sharing your gift, which is why you are here. Only you can serve in the way that you can serve. So why are you concerned about your colleagues or your peers seeing you as a failure?
The only thing that came to mind then was failure is bad.
Oh, okay. So we're still labeling failure as bad. Okay.
Yeah,
If
and
you're-
the voice I hear, it's a kid's voice. You know, even
Okay.
the phrase failure is bad. It's
Mm.
like, it's like a kid saying that.
So
You know,
which kid is saying to you that failure is bad?
well, it's me, but what comes to mind is myself as a kid trying to please my dad, and that, you know, nothing is good enough.
Okay. So you perceive that you failed dad?
I perceive that I didn't meet his expectations. Yeah.
I want you to go to a moment where you perceive you didn't meet dad's expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you?
I'm about 13 and in the kitchen at home.
And what time of year is it? Spring, winter, summer?
There's sun, so maybe it's spring.
I don't want maybes. I want you to get in the moment.
Okay. All right.
I want you to go to the exact moment.
Yep. It'd be late September.
Perfect. What time of day is it?
It's late in the afternoon.
And where are you? In the kitchen?
I'm standing up and he's just got home.
Okay. And give me a little bit of context. What's happened?
Mm-hmm. So I've got a science test in my hand,
Mm-hmm.
and I've topped the grade out of 220 kids, and I'm really excited to show him. And I give him the test, and he says, "What happened to the other 3%?"
Okay, good. So you were so infatuated with yourself and on pride about what you'd achieved that dad had to smash you off your pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
Team, if you go out of equilibrium and you put yourself up on a pedestal, the rest of the world is just going to come in to help you get back to balance. And we label situations and scenarios as bad, and people didn't appreciate us and love us. And actually, all he was doing was trying to get you back to balance, Ash, in an act of love, because you had maximized yourself. Look at what I'd done. I'm so proud. Look at me. And if dad hadn't have brought you down that day, you would have been bullied in the playground the next day. Because if you maximize yourself, the rest of the world is just going to try to come in and help you get back to balance. Similarly, how often have you seen something, say on social media, where people put themselves down, say they're depressed, and everyone else on social media starts liking their post and telling them they're amazing? If you're depressed, the rest of the world is going to try and bring you up. But if you've put yourself up, the rest of the world is just here to do its job and help you get back to balance. And you walk around and say, that was bad. But it's actually an act of love. So Ash, I want you to go back to that moment. Are you more concerned that you failed dad or that you failed yourself?
In that moment, failed dad.
Okay. So how was it of benefit to dad in that moment that you let him down, didn't meet his expectations?
I think it led to him being more accepting of me.
Now, I want the moment. Let's go to the moment, Ash,
what did it
where
benefit
you're
him?
perceiving that dad has an expectation of you and you let him down. In that moment, how did it serve him? What was the gift to him that you had not met his expectations? Go to the moment. Don't think about it.
Yeah, that possibly yeah, I'm really struggling with that. There's like that he pushed me more after that.
No, in the moment, what was important to Dad
Mhm.
in Dad's life back then?
Perfection.
Okay.
Mm,
And you were
yeah.
showing him imperfection.
hmm
So how was it of benefit to Dad in that moment to see an imperfection?
Yeah, I can't think of a benefit for him.
Well, so he was infatuated with perfection. He thought that
hmm
everything had to be perfect. So he had a fantasy about perfection.
Still does.
How is that harming the rest of his life and his relationships to keep having a perfection complex?
Yeah, a lot of anger, a lot of anxiety, a lot of trying to control things.
Uh-huh. So when you perceived that you had not met Dad's expectations of perfection, what was the gift you were giving Dad?
Possibly a reality check that everything's not perfect.
Ash, I want you to come into your heart and I want you to close
Mhm.
your eyes and I want you to go into that moment in the kitchen at 5 o'clock in the afternoon in September when you've shown Dad the test that you did. And he said, where's the other 3%? And you've perceived that you didn't meet his expectations. What was the gift you were giving Dad in that moment as it relates to his desire for perfection?
That he can't control everything.
And how does that benefit Dad to have a moment, a split moment of realization that he can't control everything?
Makes him more flexible and adaptable.
And how does that benefit Dad in his business or in his marriage to learn a bit of flexibility?
It means that he's not so hard on everybody around him and that they don't push back so hard against him or withdraw from him.
And then how does that help him with a connection to his own heart?
It means that he's not so hard on himself.
Oh, say that again.
Yeah, it means that he's not so hard on himself.
Because was Dad just obsessed with perfection because he felt like a failure?
Yeah.
So what was the gift you were giving Dad in not meeting his expectations?
Yeah, giving him a break from his expectations.
Freedom
Yeah,
from the chain?
yeah.
The very thing that you get out of freedom, out of failure. What did you see that you got out of failure?
Yeah, freedom.
So Ash, can you see how that fear of failure is serving you and humanity, whether it's your dad or your clients?
Yep.
How's it serving you? How's it serving your clients? How's it serving Dad every time someone fails?
Yeah, I guess it teaches us understanding of ourselves, empathy for others, empathy for ourselves.
And isn't that one of the most magnificent gifts you can have, is to have an understanding of yourself and empathy for yourself so that you can be understanding of others and connect with others on this planet. So you have a community of people around you.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there anything missing in that moment of failing Dad in the kitchen at 5 o'clock on Saturday afternoon in September?
No, there's nothing I can perceive as being missing at the moment.
Are you ready to show up and fail in your business?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But,
Could you hear that team? He's like, yeah, bring on the failure.
yeah, that's what it's like. It's like, okay, fun.
Yeah, because what's on the other side of failure?
Freedom.
Freedom. There are always two poles to every magnet, team. Whatever you are running from, you are going to run into until you learn to love both sides. And what have we uncovered today is both sides, Ash.
Well, what do you mean? What have we uncovered? Both
What are the
sides?
two sides of the magnet? What did you uncover today about the two sides? What's on either side?
Freedom. Both sides.
Freedom and failure. Failure and freedom. Yep.
Mhm.
Ash, thank you so much for being in the hot seat today. You have done a very generous job of sharing so openly with everyone and really getting to the heart of what's been going on. And you know, I know we can't get through everything in an hour, but has today been of benefit to you, Ash?
Yeah, amazing. And yeah, thank you everybody for your presence and witnessing.
Did you get what you came for?
I think that I far exceeded what I came for. I was like, oh, I'll just turn up and, you know, we'll do the thing. We'll find out some sort of mindset stuff and, you know, get all motivated and pumped up and feel like we're going to the gym.
Yeah. All right. Now, I don't want any of you to race off yet because we are not done. But Ash, thank you so much for holding this space for everyone. I truly, truly appreciate it. And it's such a privilege and an honor for me to work with you both here, but one-on-one. Team, I would love for you all to share in the chat what has been your biggest takeaway or your greatest insight from what you've heard here today. And Ash, I would love for you to be reading the chat as well, because it is synchronous and there are things going on for every single human they would have seen themselves in what you've shared. So please take a couple of minutes, don't rush off. There's something special at the end here that you're going to have access to. So please don't race off unless you absolutely have to. But please share in the chat, everyone. What have you gotten out of today? So Dawn, Heart and Purpose brought Ash back from death. Yes, indeed. It's an incredible story. I encourage you to look it up on YouTube. Ash has shared his own story on his channel. Erwin, there are always two sides. Yeah, so I really encourage you to be looking for the other side within you and around you, team. If you think that something is bad and you're struggling, what is the other side? Christopher, there's a drawback and a benefit to every moment. Absolutely. Jill, the gifts we give each other, even in seemingly difficult situations. Yeah, that's a really, really beautiful one, isn't it? Okay, keep sharing. But here's what I would love for you to know. When you have these insights about yourself and dissolve them, it clears a pathway for clients to come to you. Client attraction is both mindset and strategy. It's not one or the other. You have to have both. And when you clear the things, now, by the way, you're never getting rid of challenges, like we said at the start, right? So your job is to keep identifying what is in my way and keep clearing out those things. Because when you do, you create a space for people to come to you. You have clarity, you have certainty, so your audience does as well. Now, I'll give you an example, and Ash, I'll check in with you. I mean, we're working together anyway, but it'll be great to find out what happens in the coming days, because last week, one of my clients came to a session much like this, and she cleared a whole bunch of stuff. The week before, she'd lost several clients. They'd cancelled, they'd left, and she hadn't been attracting new clients. And it wasn't due to strategy. She's doing the strategy. This week, in the first 2 days of the week, she's already signed on 3 new clients because she cleared what was in her way, in addition to working on the strategy inside of our business builder sessions. So you will get it. If you're not already a business builder member, you're going to get a special offer at the end of this via email, inviting you to come and join us. But also, if you would like to do some more personalized one-on-one work with me, I encourage you to make a time for us to connect, because I would love to serve you and continue to help you show up in your most powerful way so that your clients can actually see you. Because if you're hiding and you're scared to be seen, they can't find you. And we do mindset in every single business builder class session. It's incrementally day by day that helps you show up in your most powerful position so people can see you. And that's where you maximize your growth and you maximize your impact, which gives you more freedom and money and flexibility and all of those beautiful things that we love to do in our personal life. So I'm just going to jump into the chat and see what you guys have shared. So Suzanne, what I'm running from, I'll keep running into. Lexi, you can have both. It's not one or the other. Aurelia, I'm just going to say your name in my Aussie slang way, okay? I hope you'll forgive me. When you put yourself on a pedestal, the world helps you to come back into balance, and that is totally turning around any situation. I love it. Kimmy, by going deeper, there's a benefit to the other side, and it leads us to freedom. Ash, the benefit to all parties. In the past, I was almost always looking for benefit to me, but not to the other person. Guys, if you don't keep looking for what your perceived failures are to the other person, you stack up shame and guilt. And shame and guilt lowers your self-worth. And your self-worth is a direct correlation of your net worth. So if you don't keep seeing how your perceived failures are helping the rest of humanity, you're just stacking up a whole bunch of shame and guilt, and you can't serve people. It holds you back. Whatever you bury buries you. Ash, dying on the hospital table, almost buried him. Anna, there's always benefits and drawbacks to every situation. Ella, my polar opposites are being seen and belonging. I feared being seen would lead to a lack of belonging. But now from the coaching with Ash, I can see that being seen is the very thing that leads belonging and connectedness. Oh my Lordy. And this is exactly why I am on a mission to build a community of 1 million inspired individuals like yourselves. Have you had a sense of belonging by being in this space with each other today? Yeah. Now you get to go out into the world and share your gifts because you know it's safe. Tony, no success without failure. Keep going. All right. I am so grateful to every single one of you for being here. Thank you so much for sharing your space, your time and energy, for being here no matter what, whether it was early, late, you had to move a client session. I love you and I will see you all soon. See you, team. Bye-bye.